Hello, everyone. So, welcome to our session this afternoon. We're so excited to be joined with one of our amazing clients, Rick Strachan, who's Vice President Business Development for Informa Markets. So, today we will chat about how Audience Extension has supported them to generate revenue and their experience from an organiser's point of view. So the session today will, of course, be recorded, so we understand how busy everyone is. So if you need to jump off for a meeting or anything, you'll be able to watch this again afterwards as an on-demand content. So again, throughout the session as well, if you've got any questions at all, just post them in the chat box, and our lovely Steph is moderating today. So we'll try our best to answer all those questions if we've got time at the end of the session. So to begin with today, I will give just a quick overview of what Audience Extension is, just in case there's anyone who's joined today that's not heard of the product before yet. And then we'll introduce Rick, who will chat through his experience and share any learnings or hurdles that they encountered when onboarding the service. So let's get started then. So Audience Extension. What it is this connects exhibitors with their target audience by sending traffic to your exhibitors' websites using existing data that's already in your account. So an example of this could be any previous exhibitor data or visitor data that's already, as I say, in your account. It's high quality audience exposure for your clients and generates a strong return on investment purely through digital. So the service that we provide includes all the ad creative, landing pages and tracking, as well as a live dashboard for reporting. So it's really quick to set up, and it's a profitable product that you can use all year round without relying on live events as well. So a couple of the benefits that we have on the slide that you can see is that the data is already in the account. So as mentioned, the setup can be within a week to build those campaigns. It's sold on a CPM basis, so that is cost per impression. And there's huge margins to be made for you as the event organizer. The next slide here, we've got some of the key metrics that we would be measuring throughout the duration of the campaigns. So you can see all of these listed on this slide here. One of them being viewability. So this is when the ad is clearly shown on the screen. It's defined as a display ad that is at least 50% above the fold for 1 second. So sometimes ads can be shown to the user but below the fold, so aren't actually seen. So we aim for above 60% viewability to ensure that ads are actually being looked at rather than just being present on the website. We'd also be looking at guaranteed impressions, video views to enhance the exposure of the brand, and also CPM, which will be critical to your ROI when analysing the campaigns after. On the next slide here, we can see an example of some of the fully responsive creatives. So this is just an example of what they would look like on your campaigns. And then we've just got a snapshot of one of the case studies that we've recently finished for Informa Fashion. So you can see there were some really strong results from this campaign here. There was over 700 leads and over 205,000 video views, which was really great to see from that campaign. So overall, hopefully that gives everyone a good little overview of what Audience Extension is. And so now we'd like to introduce Rick, and we can move on with the rest of the session. So hi, Rick.
Hi, Fiona. How are you?
Good, thanks. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. I understand how busy you must be.
Happy to.
Great. So maybe we can start with just yourself giving a little intro into some of the amazing brands you work with, and then we can move on from that.
Sure. And obviously Informa Markets is a fairly large entity. I work with what we call our INC group, which is Infrastructure and Construction Group. So pretty much most of the brands that we have within our group, it's about a dozen brands, touch on different facets of the construction industry. It could be architects, it could be concrete contractors, roofing professionals, flooring and surface professionals. So everything really ties into some way or another to the built environment. Pretty much a lot of our events are US based, but we obviously do have international attendance as well.
Great, thanks for that, Rick.
Yeah.
So moving on to audience extension. So before you started using the product, did you have much understanding of the service, or was it all pretty new for you?
Sure. I mean, we've been using audience extension for a number of years now. I think, the simplest way to describe it for us is that, hey, allows us to sort of amplify the audience that we reach beyond our own platforms. So we're able to, allow our customers to target sort of our highly sort of valuable audiences, and we can deliver them in larger quantities, larger impressions by using audience extension. So it's been pretty successful for us.
Great, amazing, thanks for that. Mm-hmm. And has there been any sort of pros or cons since using the product?
Yeah, I think from a pro standpoint, I mean, again, it's a cost-effective way for clients to get some good results, some positive ROI. For us personally, it allows us to generate a good amount of digital revenue beyond what we might, earn from our own traffic, on our own sites. So it's been very beneficial to us from that respect. I think on the con side, I think I would just say that there's questionable platforms out there that might deliver impressions on to questionable sites. So I think one of the things that we are careful to do is to make sure that we're working with ad tech providers such as Tag that really focuses on safe sites. Making sure that we're delivering those impressions on what we would consider safe sites, and that's important for us because we want to protect our customers' brands and obviously our reputation as well. So again, those are just sort of a couple of the pros and cons to think about. I think when I think about another pro, as I mentioned, it is a great way for us to generate additional revenue. We actually, with all of our events, we have a large variety of sponsorships. You can do signage at the event. You can do push notifications through our mobile apps and so forth. But all of our events actually do have in their sponsorship offerings an audience extension package. So it's one of our standard offerings now that we include across all of our events. And it's been pretty successful. And most of the customers we work with either are looking at it from an event standpoint as a way to promote their presence at the event directly before the event, or maybe even to reach that audience directly after the event, after everybody's gone home. I think a big area of our focus over the last couple of years is to start to look at audience extension as a offering year round. So big part of what we've been trying to do is to extend it 365 year round. And make customers are aware that they can actually reach those valuable audiences on an all-year basis versus just at the show or period before or right after the show. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what's been obviously great this past year with this service. Obviously, with live events not happening as well, it's been a real pro. And how was this kind of received on your team? Obviously, it's a totally different thing for your sales team to be onboarded with. So was there any sort of learnings or hurdles from that side of things?
I think it's been received pretty well by our sales team. I think from their standpoint, it offers us the ability to help our customers again reach an audience that the customers are already interested in. When they've proven that, hey, they're investing to come to our show, they want to meet with those people at the show. So this is sort of just an extension of that. No pun intended, but again, it allows them to offer their customers a way to reach the the really clearly, highly defined audience, at the show or beyond the show all year long. So I think our sales staff has been very well accepted. I know that we have one of the things that we're doing right now is we actually have a sales contest in place throughout the fall, offering our sales team a nice little bonus if they sell the different audience extension packages that we have leading up to our shows in the first quarter of next year. So it's something we're serious about and think it has a lot of opportunity for us. And we're interested in it because we know that it provides good ROI for our customers. So.
Yeah, great. That's good. And how did your exhibitors then find the process of moving to a digital product? So obviously that would be quite a change for them as well.
Yeah, I think, again, the majority of our exhibitors already utilize digital advertising. It's for the most part, it's more of who isn't nowadays utilizing digital advertising to reach customers. I think where we had a little bit of education to do is most of the people that are involved on the digital side of the business might not be the people that are actually involved in the trade show side of the business. So I think that it was, in some instances, there was a little bit of a learning process as we talked with our normal exhibitor contacts. And educating them as far as, hey, if you're going to the show and you're exhibiting at the show, a great way to help you get better ROI from your participation in that show is to look at these digital offerings. And that's sort of, on one side. On the other side, as I mentioned, is that, one of the things we've been trying to do is to work with customers year round and offer programs such as audience extensions. From that standpoint, one of the things we're trying to do is make sure that we are reaching the contacts that are customers that might not be our normal contacts. So in some instances, we were focused on reaching the people that, manage the trade show. Now we're also trying to reach, into the sales and marketing contacts that are clients that are more involved in looking at year round. And I think in some instances, it's been a little bit of a paradigm shift because I think a lot of customers, for many of our events, World of Concrete, for example, they look at World of Concrete as that thing that they do 3 days, out of the 365 days a year. And that's when they think about us. So when we come to them and start offering other programs that we can reach, help reach the customers all year, that's a little bit new for them. I mean, most of them say, wow, this is great. I wish you had been doing this for a lot longer. You have this incredible database, but they were just not used to, accessing that database on a year-round basis. So there's a little bit of education there and also finding the right people. So that's one of the keys that we're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you found they've been then happy with the results so far from the campaigns?
Yeah, I think, the nice thing about, again, audience extension is the programs that we're putting together, you're obviously, selling it on a CPM basis. What we've tended to do is we've tended to put together, for most of our exhibitor clients, put together prepackaged audience extension programs. So we might, as part of a show, list of show sponsorship opportunities, we might just say, hey, one of them is this audience extension program. It's for a set, 150,000 impressions, 30 days out from the show. And then we're able to show, obviously, and report. And that's the nice thing about digital is you actually have reporting and metrics that you can show that, hey, the program was successful. We delivered what we said we were going to. And we can obviously also provide them with the some of the other metrics as far as the click-through rates and so forth, and leads in some instances. So I think for the most part, our customers have been happy with what we've been able to provide them.
Great. And in terms of the reporting, have they found that easy to follow and things like that? Have they find that side of things easy to use?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, almost divided. We're dealing with two sets of contacts sometimes. We're dealing with the group that, manages the exhibit, and they're very interested. Okay, hey, did I hit my number of impressions to, hey, promote my participation in the show or drive traffic to my booth at the show? And in the other instance, we're trying to deal more with the sales and marketing folks at the clients that are more involved in a year-round looking at these types of opportunities. So they're very metrics driven. I think that everybody nowadays that is in a sales or marketing role, especially on the marketing side, has to be able to prove the effectiveness of what they're spending money on. And having those metrics, available and being able to report on that helps them to justify their budgets and hopefully their success. So.
Yeah, great. And so, what would your advice be then to other event organizers that are kind of thinking about using audience extension in the future?
Sure. Well, first off, if you're not doing it, I would absolutely, recommend it. I think it's, again, it's a great way to provide another value-added service to your clients, and at the same time, generate additional revenue for yourself. I think that from an advice standpoint, I think that, make sure that you pick the right ad tech, partner to work with. I think that you're looking for one that provides, has access to a large, quantity of sites, safe sites, as I mentioned before. You want to be able to work with somebody that's actually has your interest in making sure your customers' ads are being delivered to what we would consider safe sites. I think, work with a provider that, provides, streamlined setup for the program, monitoring of the program. Providers that we work with obviously provide real-time monitoring, so we can actually look at a dashboard, see what's being delivered, keep track of that, and then at the end, being able to provide a good reporting that we can provide to our customers. So I think you just have to make sure that your whoever you're working with is able to provide those types of things. I think also, in today's environment, because you're uploading your database, to your partner, and you have to make sure that the database is secure. So you have to work with somebody that it has good reputation, that you've done your due diligence, and that you're complying with any kind of GDPR or compliance issues, as far as uploading your data to that platform. So it's very important to make sure you're doing that due diligence up front. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. And did you, I'm sure a couple of clients would also like to know, did you start off by piloting like a couple of brands first with the service and then take it from there?
Yeah, and I think that, again, as I said, pretty much all of our brands within our infrastructure and construction group are offering it as part of their sponsorship packages. And we've been doing that for at least maybe 3 or 4 years now. I think once we, saw the opportunity, once we saw the effectiveness of it, we just layered it in across all of our brands and made it an offering. I think as I mentioned now, we're sort of focused on being able to offer these programs on a year-round basis. We have been sort of really starting to focus and rolling out this at a brand by brand level. We sort of identified, hey, which brands do we want to roll it out with first? Not just audience extension, but a whole sort of digital advertising and marketing services platform. So we've begun sort of, we now have that sort of a full-fledged platform on 5 out of our 10 or so brands. And we're looking at rolling that out further across the other brands as we moved in 2022.
Great. And how did you decide on those this first brands that you wanted to go with?
Sure. Well, again, with offering it as part of the show sponsorship package. We just rolled that out across all of our brands right away. I mean, it was sort of, these are sort of fairly simple, pre-packaged audience extension programs. We just rolled that out right away. As far as offering, a full array of digital advertising and marketing services, we did have a couple of our brands that already had legacy platforms, so full media and marketing service platforms. And then basically we just identified in 2020, sort of fall 2020 and into 21, we just identified 3 new platforms that we've rolled it out against. And then as we go into 2022, we'll be just enhancing it with the other brands as well. And it's mainly not because we feel that there's not an interest or a need. It's mainly because we're actually having to staff up and put the resources on our teams in place from a sales and marketing and fulfillment to make sure that we're able to perform the way it's expected and be able to provide our customers with the service that they want.
Yeah. So. Great. Thanks so much then. So we've got about 10 minutes in left for questions. So we'll just see if there's any pop up here. Great. So a question for you, Rick. Any tips for sales team on how you successfully upsold audience extension to your sponsors / exhibitors who have maybe never done anything like this before?
Sure. Well, I think the first thing is to make sure your sales teams have a good understanding. So we actually held a series of sort of digital training programs with our sales teams back in, I think it was sort of back in the first part of last year, where we just did, once every couple of weeks, we did a 30-minute training session on a different type of digital offering. One of those sessions was specifically on audience extension. So we basically wanted to make sure our team members understood what it was, understand the effectiveness before we actually started rolling it out to customers. I think, in offering it to customers, and I think it depends. I mean, is it specifically tied in with one of your events? So is it an audience extension package that's tied into your trade show, or is it something that you're offering, for a year-round sort of program to a customer? I think if it's the latter and it's tied to an event, I think you're positioning that with whoever the client is, has on their team that is focused on the success of their trade show. And I think the way you're positioning that is that, hey, look, you're coming to the show, you're making a large investment in this show to be here and bringing staff here. You want to make sure you get the ROI out of that investment. And we can help you by doing an audience extension package, so we can actually target the people that have been on our registration site, that have been that are registered for the show. So we can actually do some very high quality targeting to those people to make sure that you're standing above the rest of your crowd, or standing above all the other exhibitors there, and they're seeing something that might entice them to come by your exhibit during the show, and it's very effective at doing that. I think that if it's something that you're trying to sell an audience extension program to a client on a year-round basis, after they've let's say exhibited at the show, or maybe they're even a non-exhibitor, then I think it's from a standpoint of, hey, that the people that are attending, the people that are registering for our trade show, that the people that are coming to our website, these are people that are interested buyers in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And we can help you reach them on a full year basis. You've already sort of investing dollars against this market already. If you're an exhibitor, we can actually also help you to target those same people to come to the shows, or that come to the websites and so forth on a year-round basis. They're proven buyers, and I think it's just having that conversation, but making, again, first steps, making sure your sales team understands exactly what audience extension can do, so they can describe it correctly to your customers.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think that's what's most important, because as you say, it is a totally different thing that they'll be selling. So
Yeah, I
great,
think
thanks for that.
I would also say that, we sort of have our exhibit sales staff that is selling these programs tied into our trade shows. One of the other things, we have hired a few sort of focused digital sales team members now that are helping us sell programs to our customers on a year-round basis. So
great. Amazing, thank you. So yeah, we've got another question here for Rick. So do you feel you have built stronger exhibitor relationships by encouraging exhibitors to run digital sponsorship across a 365 campaign?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we feel this way both with our audience members as well as our exhibitors or our customers. I think that as we continue to enhance the digital products we have, first for our audience, by launching new content-driven websites and providing them with ongoing content, this helps us to strengthen that relationship we have with the audience. They're not just coming to us at a point in time, during the 3 days of the show, that we're able to offer them valuable information year round. So that helps us strengthen that relationship with the audience. So I answered that part first, even though it wasn't asked, because I think it relates to the second part, which is, does it build stronger relationships with the exhibitors? Yes. And I think that as I mentioned earlier, in some instances, we're having to change a paradigm where they just looked at us as somebody that they worked with 3 days a year. But now, by offering them services that we can help them to reach their targeted audiences year round, I think that just develops a stronger relationship, because now they're coming to us not just for that 3 days of the event, but they're coming to us and feel that we're a good partner with them on a full year basis. So that only helps us even get greater solidification of their investment in the trade shows. Because again, we're working with them year round. So
yeah, that's great to hear. Thank you. So I'm not sure if there's any more questions come up. We'll just wait a second and see. So yeah, another one. So do you see that exhibitors would be interested in performance-focused campaigns, potentially traffic or lead gen campaigns, as well as impressions?
Absolutely. We are already rolling out, especially in the area of lead generation. I mean, customers are looking for leads, and that's why they come to a trade show. They come to a trade show not as much for brand building, although they of course want to develop their brand, but they're looking to walk away with leads. I think that more and more we're focusing on programs that will help them deliver those leads on a year-round basis, so that we've got a variety of different lead generation programs that we offer, anything from content syndication to cost per lead programs, as well as lead nurturing as well. So we can actually help them not only generate leads, but also help them maybe bring those leads through their funnel to make them more, to get them to where they're ready to buy. So
great, yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, so I don't think we have any more questions come up, but if there is any after this session, feel free to email them over. My email is just on the bottom of the screen there, fiona@tagdigital.co.uk. But yeah, thank you so much, Rick, for joining today, and that was really helpful, all that information, and thanks for answering all those questions at the end as well.
Sure. Yeah, if you're not offering audience extension right now, you should be. So strongly urge it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.